The International Residual Mechanism for Criminal Tribunals is now in session.
This is case number MICT 1355A, the prosecutor versus Radovan Karadžić.
Thank you. Mr. Karadžić, can you follow the proceedings in a language you understand?
Dobar dan, ekscelencije, dobar dan svima. Mogu da pratim na svom jeziku.
Now let me ask for the appearances of the parties, starting with counsel for Mr. Karadžić.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor, members of the Appeals Chamber. Radovan Karadžić is represented today by Kate Gibson of Australia, Marko Sladojevic of Slovenia, James Jackson of the United Kingdom, to my right, Goran Petronijevic of Serbia, and myself, Peter Robinson of the United States of America.
Thank you, counsel. And now for the prosecution.
Good afternoon. Barbara Goy and Laurel Baig for the prosecution, with our case manager, Ian Reed.
Thank you. During the relevant period, Radovan Karadžić held positions with the Bosnian Serb leadership, and from December 1992, he was president of the Republika Srpska, RS, and supreme commander of its armed forces, VRS. On 24 March 2016, a trial chamber of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia convicted Karadžić of genocide, crimes against humanity, and violations of the laws or customs of war in connection with his participation in 4 joint criminal enterprises. Both Karadžić and the prosecution have appealed against the 40-year sentence imposed by the trial chamber. Karadžić submits that the trial chamber erred in declining to find several mitigating circumstances. As to the trial chamber's alleged failure to consider Karadžić's lack of preparation and control during the war, the appeals chamber observes that the trial chamber explicitly noted his submissions, but concluded that it did not consider his alleged lack of training and preparation for war to be mitigating in light of its findings on his authority over Bosnian Serb forces and relevant political and governmental organs. Karadžić's contention that he was a psychiatrist and poet with no military training ignores the trial chamber's extensive findings of his authority over Bosnian Serb forces and his central involvement in 4 joint criminal enterprises. The appeals chamber is in agreement with the prosecution's position and considers that the 40-year sentence inadequately reflects the extraordinary gravity of Karadžić's crimes, as well as his central and instrumental participation in 4 joint criminal enterprises. The incongruence between the gravity of Karadžić's crimes and his 40-year sentence is apparent when Karadžić's crimes and punishment are compared to the life sentences imposed on Tolimir, Biara, Popović, and Galić for their responsibility in only a fraction of Karadžić's crimes. Mr. Karadžić. For the foregoing reasons, the appeals chamber, sitting in open session, grants Judges Johnson and de Prada dissenting Karadžić's 31st ground of appeal in part, dismisses Karadžić's appeal in all other respects, affirms Karadžić's remaining convictions for genocide, persecution, extermination, murder, deportation, and other inhumane acts, forcible transfer, as crimes against humanity, as well as for murder, terror, unlawful attacks on civilians, and hostage-taking as violations of the laws or custom of war in relation to his participation in the overarching JCE, the Sarajevo JCE, the Srebrenica JCE, and the hostages JCE, sets aside Judges de Prada and Rosa dissenting the sentence of 40 years of imprisonment and imposes Judge de Prada and Rosa dissenting a sentence of life imprisonment, subject to credit being given under Rules 125C and 131 of the rules for the period Karadžić has already spent in detention since his arrest on 21 July 2008. rules that this judgment shall be enforced immediately pursuant to Rule 145A of the rules. Karadžić shall remain in the custody of the mechanism pending the finalization of arrangements for his transfer to the state where his sentence will be served. And this concludes the proceedings, appellate proceedings in this case.
All rise. Veuillez vous lever.